The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Azzy, he's Regz. We're here. This game was the most that's baseball game that I think I've ever watched in my life. Clearly, I'm in a much better mood than I was last night. Regz, I said this to you before we started the show. First of all, good to see you, bud. I said to you before we started the show, I'm still not back. I still don't know that they're going to win this series, but there's silver linings to this. I'm not going to say exactly what right now. We're going to talk about that a little later. But this game was truly one of the best baseball games I've ever watched. And I don't even mean just postseason. I mean baseball. And a lot of it has to do with because it was the postseason.
Yeah.
But my goodness, what an absolute battle between these two teams for 9 innings. Just an incredible game from both sides. Very lucky to have watched the Phillies win that, because I don't know that you would have found me tonight otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you want to know exactly what this game took out of me, there was my reaction after Castellanos' hit. Just I had to lay on the floor out of pure emotional exhaustion. I'm gonna be honest, when Alonso hit that home run,
Make it 3-0.
Yep, that was it for me. I was like, this is it. That was the dagger to our entire season.
Right.
Because up to that point, no one had proven the ability to come up with the big hit. Right. Trey got up with another time with a runner in scoring position and popped out to first base again. We were chasing. We weren't squaring anything up. That was really it. And for whatever reason, Severino decided to make a mistake, and I don't know how else to describe it. We've seen Bryce Harper miss that pitch for 4 months.
Yep.
Like, no lie. We've seen Bryce Harper get pitches that he usually sends into orbit.
Yeah.
And miss them for 4 months. And the fact that he absolutely demolished that baseball, it's difficult to describe. Like, it's tough to compare him to like LeBron James because of the number of championships that LeBron has.
Mm-hmm.
But from a career arc standpoint, to be that literally the face of baseball at 16 years old, and for it to kind of work out to this point is almost unheard of. The same way LeBron James being 40 and still playing in the NBA the way he does. With that guy was the biggest thing to come out of basketball when he was, again, 16 years old. I don't know how he continues to do it. I don't know how you go 4 months of missing that pitch and not hitting home runs to sending one off the batter's eye in center field. And yeah, it was just I don't know. I'm almost exhausted. I'm almost just exhausted. And I don't know. It was, like you said, you watched it in almost silence for most of the game because I was just upset.
Yeah.
I was just upset. Like, this is how you came out after getting your butts whooped.
Yeah.
This is how you're going to leave Citizens Bank Park. Like, this edition of this team, this is how they're going to leave this fan base.
Right.
At home. I mean, thank God it worked out, and I can't believe the Mets continue to come back how they do. All their runs scored on home runs. They singled us to death last night and then hit 4 home runs tonight.
Yeah.
It was needed. The Phillies were desperate for something like this. And I mean, I'm with you. I'm not saying like, okay, now we're definitely going to win, because I don't know if that's the case.
Right.
But they sure as hell needed this one.
Mm-hmm.
Just to sort of remain in the good graces of Phillies history, at least for now. Yeah, just wild. Just wild.
Yeah, I look, I want to get into the game itself here in a moment, but let me give my silver linings here right out of the gate before we go back through the game. And no, let's wait on let's talk about the game, and then we'll go into the silver linings piece. But let's start before the game. We got the news that Alec Boehm was not playing.
Yeah.
That Edmundo Sosa would be playing, and man, what a shock that was. I do appreciate Topper looking to make a change. I really do, because they looked dead yesterday, and we know when Bohm's in his own head, he's pretty much useless.
Mm-hmm.
And an 0 for 4 day from him in the postseason, not great. And I'm sure, Topper probably saw some things in the dugout, heard some things in the dugout, made the decision to go to Edmundo. So a little surprising, but I at least, because look, people get on him all the time to change things. And I don't know which one of them said it. I don't know if Wainwright said something like, or if it was the play-by-play guy who said, you gotta Topper needed, change something to get some energy into this team. They're down 1-0. And I think it was Pierzynski who said, well, you're down 1-0. You can't change anything. Like, you can't do that now. Well, I don't know that it helped. I don't know that it hurt.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the
It
day,
was
there
kind of
was
a
a draw.
wash. Yeah.
Yeah, it just sort of washed out. Like, Edmundo didn't do anything. They brought Bowman anyway, and he didn't do anything. Didn't really get upset with Edmundo for those 2 plays that were, like, in front of him. I do believe we're gonna see Edmundo in game 3. I don't know. Well, we're definitely gonna see him in game 3. It's just it's a question of, are we gonna see him for Bohm again, or is Stott not gonna play? As of this moment, and we can talk about this later, I prefer Stott in the lineup. I think Stott's at bats today were much better. And Manaea is not like an overpowering lefty.
Yeah.
So he's not going to blow you away. So be interesting to see what they do here. But let's work through the game and talk about some of the big moments, and then we'll just sort of react as we go. We're just going to start here. I thought Christopher Sanchez did a really nice job today. Overall, I don't think broadcasters were making it seem like, he really only does one thing and he's a one-trick pony. Well, when you pitch the way he did this year, and really for most of last year, it worked. So I don't know what to say. Gave up a 1-out double to Vientos, but ended up getting out of it without much issue. A couple of hard hit line drives at Johan, but nothing crazy. Same thing in the first. Phil's got a runner on with 1 out and 2 strikeouts to follow. The second, he worked out of trouble again. That was when Stott made that really nice leaping play. I thought that was a hit.
Oh my gosh, as soon as he hit it.
Yeah, off the bat. That's a tremendous play. And then Bryce with the diving play as well. Phillies went down in order in the second, and then the third was the Vientos home run. That ball was crushed off the bat. I knew that ball was out the second he hit it. That first home run to put him up 2-0.
Just a crazy mistake. JT wanted that high and outside, and he put it
right down the middle. I mean, it was right. It was dead. It was center cut.
Yep.
Like, Vientos is a good hitter. I've been saying it for weeks now since we saw them the first time around. The dude hits. He hits. You can get him to chase. He will chase spin.
Yeah.
And I think Nola is going to give some of these guys a problem because he works all over the place. With Wheeler, you can look up in the zone. You're not always going to hit it. With Sanchi, you're going to look low in the zone. With Aaron, he's going to do both, and he's going to work in and out. So that'll be interesting. So they took a 2-0 lead. The Phillies did get a base runner again in the third, but left him after 2 pop-ups from Schwarber and Turner. Then Sanchez put down Martinez, Marte, and Alvarez. Again, the Phillies got a base runner, this time with 2 outs. but Stott got thrown out trying to steal. I appreciated how aggressive they were on the bags today, Riggs.
Yeah, particularly Trey. Like
Yeah.
it seems to be a part of his game we just don't see or haven't seen in 2 years now.
Yeah.
When sort of him coming over, like, this is the speed that this lineup needed. This is the guy who's, we're watching Shohei steal 50 plus bases.
Right.
We're like, I know for a fact Trey Turner is faster than Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah. Right.
Obviously the hamstring injury and things like that, you get it. You get it when you're injured, but
right.
It was good to see him be aggressive, get to third that one time. He just got to get on base because this is what he can do. The Mets aren't good at holding runners. They're just not good at it. And the more guys that they can have doing this, it just makes a huge deal.
I don't know. I don't know about Quintana and Manea. They do that. They have a little bit of an advantage being lefties. But I don't know how well they hold guys. So I'll be interested to see if the running continues. I think the Phillies do have to run though.
Yeah.
They're like that. They can really win baseball games with their speed. I would like to see Bryce start to take some bags. I don't know why he doesn't. But the Phillies have 4 or 5 guys that can take a bag not at any time, but they can take a bag. I think there are 3 that can take a bag at any time. I think Trey and Stott can definitely take a bag at any time. Marsh might be in limbo there. JT can definitely take a bag. Oh, yeah, Rojas can take a bag at any time. Yeah, that's my third. JT can take a bag if need be, just because he's smart. But they have got. I mean, even Nick's take. I thought Nick after the Stott.
Before the Stott
triple, I thought Nick was.
I thought so too. Yeah,
because he had gone the walk off a couple weeks back at CBP. He stole second on Diaz. Yep. And then JT hit the single. So I was anticipating him going there.
And to just get out of the double play, hopefully.
That was my concern. That situation had double play written all over it. Although Diaz doesn't throw a ton of ground balls.
Yeah.
He's a strikeout fly ball guy. So, but yeah, appreciated the stealing. Sanchez worked through the 5th just fine. That was it for him after that. He was up around 90 pitches. He did have to battle through some innings, but overall, this was a really good Chris Sanchez start for me. He kept them in it for 5 innings. All you can ask for from him.
Yeah.
And he did exactly what they needed him to do. He turned it over to the pen with a 2-0 lead. And that's all you can ask for. That end of that inning was a Bryce Harper diving play too.
Yeah. Bryce played fantastic defensively.
Anything to add about Sanchi?
I just think some people sometimes see runs and they're like, oh my gosh, he gave up 2 runs. 2 runs is not a lot.
No. Felt like a lot today.
Of course in the context for sure.
Right.
It's not a lot of runs.
No.
He made 1 mistake. And other than that, I thought he was very good for a guy who had all the pressure on him, and he was in when the offense was doing nothing. So he had to keep going out there and keep giving them a chance to come back. Keep it at 2.
Right.
And he just kept doing it. And for a guy like that who's had the ascension he's had this year, he hasn't pitched in many games like this. And I thought
in Arizona last year, that was it.
And I thought he pitched fantastic.
He did really well. The Phillies went 1, 2, 3 in the bottom. And then so interesting move here from Topper. He needed somebody in the 6th to get to his 3 guys. Well, almost not his 3 guys. He almost went a different direction, and I want to talk about that too. But he went to Jose Ruiz in the 6th to face Pete Alonso, Jose Iglesias, and JD Martinez, who's due up. And it backfired pretty much immediately. The Alonso home run, another pitch, center cut.
Such a mistake.
Yeah, center cut. He got Iglesias, Martinez singled, he got Marte, Alvarez singled, and then he got Bader on what I thought was a line drive over Trey's head, but it ended up being right at Trey. So it's 3-0. I want to talk about this here because I think there is something important to highlight. He didn't go to Jose Alvarado in a 2-0 game. And I know that there were a bunch of righties up. And we've talked about it on the show. The Mets don't have lefties. So
Yeah.
we might not see a lot of Jose Alvarado. I think like this just shows the fall of Jose Alvarado because the last 2 years in the postseason, that might be an Alvarado inning. To face Alonso, Iglesias, and Martinez, that might be an Alvarado inning last year.
Yeah.
Or it was a Hoffman inning to get to Alvarado later, but the decline and the fall off of Jose Alvarado is highlighted by going to Jose Ruiz there. And while he didn't crumble, the game almost fell apart right there.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. It was, again, another mistake pitch, a pitch that should never be somewhere that Pete Alonso can hit it.
Yeah.
Because I think he had him 1-2, right?
He was 1-2. Yep. And he went to throw the curveball, but he hung it. He left it up in the zone instead of burying it.
I mean, you and I talked about this in sort of the preview. This is not a decision I question because Jose Alvarado has not pitched well to righties.
No.
And
no. I don't disagree with it either.
With the game where it is, you can't have him come in and just walk a bunch of guys because he's afraid to make a mistake to righties. And that's kind of been what's happened. And look, again, in the beginning of the year, Jose Alvarado, the guy, like it could have been a 6-armed alien. Yeah. He was getting them out. And that just wasn't the case further on in the year. It's just not the case. So I appreciate that Topper didn't go to him out of some perceived trust or perceived something.
Yeah.
Because I think Topper of a year ago probably goes to him because it's Jose Alvarado.
Well, and he might not there because if Jose's Jose, you're using Jose in the seventh or the
sure,
8th,
maybe you're not in that
and you're probably using Hoffman or Kerkering there instead.
Yeah, I think it was the right decision. I think you don't put Alvarado in for a bunch of righties. You just don't do it. He's not there right now. Right. And again, if he's not used that much, it's just the matchup isn't right.
Right.
Maybe if Nimmo is up and you got 2 outs. And you're just trying to, you got one guy. You're just trying to get a lefty out.
I think the tough thing there is if he doesn't get him, he has to face Alonso because he has to face 3 hitters.
Sure. But I mean, if you're just trying to set him up in the best possible situation.
And I think if it's a spot where you're up 4 and Nimmo comes up with a runner on first and your starter's tiring, maybe you try it there because you've got a cushion. But I wasn't upset with the move. I just wanted to highlight that.
Sure. Yeah.
This is how far that Jose has fallen because we're going to Jose Ruiz in a game where Jose Alvarado didn't pitch yesterday.
Yeah.
He's fresh. And you're facing the middle of the Met order.
Yeah.
So just really interesting. They go to the bottom of the 6th. The Phillies finally find their way. They find their bats. Clemens pinch hits for Rojas, flies out. Schwarber grounds out with 2 outs. Underrated moment in this game. Trey Turner, who's been struggling. We know he had a hit earlier in the game, but was down 1-2 and smoked a breaking ball because all they're throwing him. Regz, he saw 5 breaking balls in this at bat.
Yeah.
5. He got a breaking ball in the lower part of the zone and smoked it in the left field. And that's a very underrated moment in this game because what happened next changed the entire complexion. Bryce Harper comes up, no idea why they're pitching to Bryce here. And
this was a mistake. I don't think that ball was meant to be anywhere near the plate. No, I don't think.
Yeah, you might be right.
I don't think there was that ball was not supposed to be there.
Well, I got to be honest with you. I don't know why they're throwing him any sort of velocity at all.
I think he was trying to go high up again because he had gotten Bryce to swing at that.
Because it's down around his thighs.
And Wainwright made a good point, and said, I think he overthrew it. And sometimes when you try to overthrow, right, you pull it, and it pulled it down into the zone. I don't think that pitch was meant to be anywhere near the strike zone.
So really interesting. Pitch 1, sinker at 97. Pitch 2, sinker at 97. Pitch 3, sinker at 97. Pitch 4, four-seamer, 99. That was way up.
Yeah.
Pitch 5, four-seamer, 99.
Yep. That pitch was
So
meant
we
to be
did
up
try.
again.
Yeah. And look, you mentioned earlier, Bryce, we saw him miss that pitch a ton. I will live on or die on this hill that Bryce was conserving down the stretch. I just think he was hurting, but I think in regard to that, he wanted to be out there to get swings, but we weren't seeing these swings from Bryce.
Yeah.
We weren't, there was like a 3-week span where Bryce was like admittedly swinging it like a little leaguer.
Yeah.
His version of it.
Right.
So he comes up, does that, and then Nick comes up and takes a strike on a sweeper, gets another sweeper. Both of them were up in the zone. The second one, he absolutely launches.
Oof.
Important to say, both of these were out in all 30 stadiums in Major League Baseball. They were crushed.
Yeah.
And the stadium flipped. So I would have liked to add one more there. Didn't happen. It's not struck out. Kerkering comes in, strikes out Lindor, gets Vientos. The Mets complain a lot. I think that needs to be said too. Like everything that's called a strike, they're turning around and looking.
That was a great pitch.
Yeah, it was never a ball at any point. And then Brandon Nimmo. God, I
don't wish injury on a lot of people.
Well, when he was doing that stupid shuffle, that shimmy at first base,
I just want can he just like trip over the base and sprain his ankle?
I just can't stand him.
But again, another mistake from Kerkering. Like that ball should be nowhere near that spot.
Yeah. It needed to be where his called strike was on the third pitch. It was right on the outer edge. That's where he wanted it.
Yeah. And it's it's 2 outs again. And I get it that it's like, it's pressure and we just saw Severino do it, but it's like, oh my God, can we
no,
not?
Can we not? So good the first 2 batters.
I know.
So good. And of course he had to say something crossing home plate. He was saying something to the Phillies dugout. I think JT said something to him, and then he responded with, "Where's Sanchez?"
No, he came across the plate saying, "Where's Sanchez at?"
But he was looking in the Phillies dugout.
That's what I mean. I don't know why.
Yeah, what is the point of that?
What did Sanchez do?
Yeah, I don't know. He didn't hit him, did he? No.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a loser. They're all losers.
Oh my
I mean,
God,
like they really
team.
they are a bunch of losers. They're not likable. They're a bunch of losers. Alonso walked, and then he got Iglesias, who also turned around and complained about a fastball that was legitimately right on the outer edge.
That wasn't even close to the edge. It was like It
was
the outer third of the plate. I think
he
turned. I think that one's a little less egregious. He turned around and asked the umpire something, and then you could see him like at the end of it, like nodding, like saying, "Okay, I got you." I don't think it didn't look like he was complaining that much. Out of all the that guy's still annoying. Yeah, I haven't hated a team like this in a while. Like we didn't like the Braves, but really I didn't hate any of them outside of Ozuna and Strider.
Well, yeah, Ozuna,
and
I
only hate Strider for his stupid pants and the mustache, and that he just seems like he's a tool.
Yeah,
but I respect the hell out of him because he's unbelievable. Like Ronald Acuna, I never got that mad at because he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And Matt Olson and Austin Riley are so white bread that you can not like them because of the team they're on, but they're not overly offensive.
Well, I also don't like Garcia, but that's
fine. I get it.
Yeah, it goes.
But the level of hatred I have for every Mets player, I haven't felt this in a while.
I don't necessarily. I'll be honest with you, and then we'll dive back in.
Sorry,
I don't necessarily. You're good. I don't necessarily hate Francisco Lindor.
Okay, he's the only one.
I actually really like Francisco Lindor. I hate the uniform he wears, and I hate that he's so good.
Yes,
but I like him.
I completely. He's like the Acuna of this team. Like you just
The
have
rest,
to.
and honestly, like Starling Marte doesn't bother me. Like he
He's
just kind
just
of
kind of
exists.
he just kind of is.
Yeah.
Sure.
But the rest of them, like, oh my gosh, Alonso and Nimmo are just so unlikable.
Did
Like,
you
they are.
see the picture of Alonso coming to the game in a suit that doesn't fit and like looking like he's going to a sales conference in Reno, Nevada? Oh my God, I'm gonna look this up and I'm gonna send it to you.
And the whole oh my god thing with the sign and the
I
home run, like,
can't deal with this stupid oh my God anymore.
yeah, it's dumb. So we got to the bottom of the seventh. Phillies threatened. JT hit by a pitch. Marsh isn't
Marsh
looking
has
great
not
right
been
now.
very good.
No, he's behind everything.
He's trying to pull everything. That's why he's
Yeah.
getting these pitches over the outside of the plate.
Yeah.
And he's not just trying to put it the other way. He's trying
And
to pull
he's
everything.
at his best when he does that.
Oh my God.
Bomer popped up. He got his chance to pinch hit, popped up. Clemens with a single, nice little poke to the left side. Schwarber put together a really good at bat, and I think he just,
Oh my God,
it's gotta be
it was at his
so
feet.
hard. Regs, I'm sorry. It's gotta be so hard.
I
Because you are sitting 101 and he comes with 92 breaking. Like there's no chance to react to that. You are purely guessing.
I know. I understand that if I tried to hit against any of these people, that I'd look like a 4-year-old. I get it. I get it. I understand, but it's like I understand it more when you talk about Kodai Senga's forkball. You're like, it looks like a fastball 80% of the way, and then all of a sudden looks like it rolled off the table. That makes way more sense to me than this pitch came out of his hand at my toes, never left my toes. And that I get it. I'm talking about an impossible challenge. Like I know, what it's like. I get it.
I think it's important to name the reason why because he didn't swing fully.
No.
Like he geared up because he thought he was getting a 3-2 fastball. Like in his head, he was and if you're gonna hit Edwin Diaz's fastball, you need to be,
yes.
Like you have to be swinging when he's like here.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So with him in that moment, it doesn't matter when what it looks like coming. You're already swinging.
Yeah.
So
he was really close to stopping too. He was real close.
Yeah, he tried to sell it, but I thought I didn't think he went until I saw the actual side view.
Yeah.
All right. So listen, this was interesting. I kind of liked when they brought Estevez in.
I agree.
I think it was the right 3 guys for him to face.
I agree.
I'm actually surprised they didn't use Winker for Martinez. I'm happy they did, but he made that inning look
8
easy.
pitches.
Easy. So really good to see. And then the Phils do what they do. Didn't start well, just Trey struck out. Bryce walk, Nick single, and then first and third, birthday boy comes through, 2-run triple. And give JT credit too, because JT got down the count and still shortened up. They did what we've been begging them to do for like 2 months. Just shorten up. Change your approach with 2 strikes. Stoddy did it, and then he did it. And we're going to get to the other guy who did it here in a few minutes. But JT puts a ball in play. Stott, I think, scores even if Vientos fields it cleanly.
It was going to be really close.
But it was going to have to be a perfect throw.
Yes.
And one thing I've noticed about Mark Vientos is he doesn't make any perfect throws.
Yeah.
Like, he's fielding the ball well. There's always been an issue. But his throws to first, like Alonso's all over the place when they get to him.
Yeah.
He's rarely here. So I don't know. I think he's going to beat it. It's going to be bang, bang, but it's got to be a perfect throw. Marshy struck out. Bone popped up again. And then we go to the 9th. And I'm sitting there like, please, Lord. He gets Bader. Bader helped him out. Could have been worse. And then freaking Lindor.
Yeah.
Again. And then Vientos. A pitch at his neck. I just sat there and shook my head.
I
I
couldn't believe it.
believe that he got it out. Now, like, that would not have been I think that wouldn't have been a home run in like 9 stadiums is what I saw. Unfortunately, Citizens Bank Park, not one of those 9.
Yeah.
So, got Nimmo to line out, got Alonso to fly out. Great play by Nick, by the way.
Yes.
He's figured that play out
Yep.
quite a bit. Austin Hayes, what a chase, that guy. Whoa. Schwarbs, and then with 2 outs again. Kudos to Trey Turner. Lays off a 3-2 breaking ball
Yep.
off the plate. If Trey can do that,
Oh my God.
if Trey can lay off that pitch, they're going to be forced to throw him fastballs because you do not want to walk him and have to deal with Harper if Nick is hitting the way he's hitting.
Yeah.
This is not difficult. Trey, if you can figure out how to lay off that pitch. I didn't look. Let me see here. What'd they do? Slider, cutter, 4-seam fastball because it was 3-0.
Yeah.
Cutter, he swung at, and it was a ball. And then he laid off the cutter down and away. So he saw 1 fastball in that at bat.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the other one, he didn't see a single fastball.
Right.
And if I go back to the strikeout a few innings before, he saw slider, 4-seam fastball, slider. So 5 pitches that were breaking. I need him to stop.
Yeah.
If he can do it, it's going to get better. Then Bryce came up and he walked and Nick delivered. And that at bat again was a 2-strike approach. Now it was a hanging sweeper, but I think Nick laid off a pitch before that.
I think he swung at the first one.
He swung at a slider off the plate.
Yep.
Fouled one off on the inner part, laid off a ball in the dirt, and then got another slider on the inner part. I don't know why they didn't go away from him.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I'm not upset. Phillies walk it off. Save their season, essentially. They live to see at least 2 more games.
Yeah.
They've got best 2 of 3. And here's one of those silver linings. You've got Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler scheduled to pitch 2 of those games. Now, Regz, it would be wonderful if the Phillies don't have to get to Zach Wheeler in this series.
Yes.
It would be very ideal. And if Aaron Nola can be Aaron Nola on Tuesday night, and they can win that game, and Aaron can give them 6 or 7 strong innings, then you've got your bullpen at your disposal in the Rangers start.
Yeah.
And who knows? Ranger didn't pitch terribly at City a couple weeks back. He was not bad. That was the game that Manea pitched. That was the game where that weird fly ball landed between Rojas and Marsh, and they scored 2. It was a Saturday game. It was the first game they could have clinched.
Yeah.
And Castillo and Schwarber both homered in that game.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 3-3 game, and then like some weird thing, like Kirkering wasn't himself in that game, and had a weird inning. But Ranger gave him 5 pretty good innings that day.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and look at the line. Look, this doesn't play terribly for the Phillies. This situation after yesterday could have been far worse. And I sent this to a couple people. I didn't send it to you, but here's my other silver line about this. The Phillies won a game from the Mets that we've watched the Mets win 4 times this week.
Yeah.
The Mets have won this game 4 times this week.
Yeah.
And the Phillies took it right from them. The Phillies went down 3-0, clawed their way back, and then went down 4-3, found a lead, gave that lead up, and scored immediately after. That is huge for the confidence of this team. And look, man, at some point, this Mets team has to tire out. Their bullpen looks exhausted.
Yeah.
Butto came into the game and couldn't throw a strike.
Yeah.
they have better luck against Diaz than most teams, and were able to get to him today, and he had 2 days rest.
Well, also he's thrown like 100+ pitches in the past 6 days or something like
And
that.
that's what I'm saying. Even
Yeah.
with 2 days rest, he doesn't look the same.
Right.
And then add to it, like Miguel came in and he wasn't as sharp as what we've seen.
Yeah.
These guys, their offense doesn't appear to be gassed for some ungodly reason.
They just
They are.
Yeah.
They won't stop.
Yep.
But if the Phillies can go in there on Tuesday, get to Manaea, get to the bullpen, put up runs, and Nola can be playoff Aaron Nola, this Mets team's going to be reeling a little bit because they haven't been down.
Yeah.
You know, they've been able to fight their way back into things and win games almost by accident. And it almost happened again tonight, but the Phillies found a way. I really believe that a win on Tuesday changes everything. And that's what you said last night. You'll have confidence in this team if they can win today and Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, man. At that point, I'll be in. At this point, I'm still not sure because I don't know if this offense is going to carry over to City. If I had to ask you your confidence level on the offense taking it from tonight into Tuesday on a 1 to 10, where would you put it?
It's such a cop-out, but like I'm solely in the middle. It's a 5.
I'm at a 4, so
Yeah.
you're not really copping out. I'm a little less than
Yeah.
in the middle.
Mine was never going to be higher than a 5.
Yeah.
They desperately needed this. So you have to kind of weigh that like if they couldn't show up in this game, then it's just kind of like they're not going to show up
Right.
when they
right,
have
right,
to at all.
Right.
Do I think that it can continue? Yes. Do I think that if they can put some of these at bats together against the starter, like the Mets starter, and get into this bullpen is not very good. And I think that they just have to be hunting better at bats just to know that, guys, if we get to this bullpen, it's over. Like, it's ours. Listen, the Mets might think the same thing at this point. So, take that for what it is. But if you're just talking about our offense, they've been known to be streaky in both ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really hoping that Bryce homer unlocked something. And at least the guys that matter, like Marsh looks lost, Bohm looks lost, Rojas, I don't care. Like if he gets on base, it's just
Rojas has been on
another
base.
Single.
Yeah,
but I'm saying it's a huge bonus when that guy gives you anything offensively.
Right.
But it's about the guys that matter.
Yeah.
It's about the guys that matter, and it's about Bryson Stott waking up.
A little bit tonight. 2 hits tonight.
But it's still a 5. We have to. It'll jump to a 6 or 7 if it shows up tomorrow. In my confidence in this group.
Yeah, I'm at a 4, and the reason I'm at a 4 is simply like, what's this going to look like at City?
Yeah.
This is a team who has not always played well at Citi Field. They just lost 3 of 4 at Citi Field. Can they go there and carry this over?
Mm-hmm.
If they can, if they are going to carry this momentum and can put up big runs, we're not gonna see Marsh on Tuesday. We're not gonna see Marsh on Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Hayes against lefties, and he does rake lefties. So the hope is that you get some offense from left field. It's gonna be Sosa. I don't know if it's gonna be Sosa at second base or at third base. I don't know if they're gonna decide that they want to try Bohm again. I'm not sure what their plan is there.
Yeah.
That's going to be very interesting. I do think they're going to want to try and get as many righties in the lineup as they can. So it might be Sosa. Maybe it's not going to be Stott. And they'll save Stockford if Minaya comes out of the game because they don't really have any lefties in their pen outside of Peterson.
Right.
Yeah, I think Regz, it is such an interesting scenario that they're in going into game 3 because I found Bryce and Nick's interviews after the game to be very telling that they know, we got to go to New York and continue this. Like this is a fun win. It's an exciting win. It's going to make our, trip there better, our day off tomorrow better. But we got to win on Tuesday now.
Mm-hmm.
I think, you're right. That Bryce home run could be the wake up call. Could have been the Nick home run. Could have been the Bryson triple. Could have been the Nick walk off. Whatever it is, there's energy. There's a pulse in this baseball team now. Felt like it didn't exist yesterday. And maybe there is something to the shadow thing because it was a little lackluster on both sides tonight, except for the Vientos thing.
Yeah. Wearing sunglasses for what it's worth, Vientos in that at bat.
Yeah, so was Lindor.
That's right.
The only guy on our squad that does it is Schwartz.
Yeah.
Who tends to see the ball just fine during that time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it looks like at City. I don't know if there's going to be much of a shadow thing at 508. If there is, it's probably not going to last super long, because of a 508 start. But we'll have to see what that looks like when they come on Tuesday. All right, one more question before we get going. Tuesday night, you and I'll climb on here between 8:30 and 9. What are we going to be talking about? Or who are we going to be talking about?
Yeah. I mean, my hope to God is that in the best way, we're not talking about Aaron Nola and we're talking about this offense. That's my hope.
Yeah.
That's my honest hope, is that we're talking about this offense and Aaron Nola is like the happy second bullet.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think what I'm hoping for is I hope we're talking about Aaron Nola in the sense of the Phillies got 3 in the first. He came out and shut it down. They got 2 more in the second. He came back out and shut it down. And he got us through 7. Like, if that's the conversation, then I think the Phillies are in really good shape. If they can win a game by multiple runs and not have to use Kerkering and Strahm and Hoff and can get away with using some other guys,
Yeah.
I think that's the conversation I want to be having on Tuesday night. And if we can be having that conversation, then we're in a good place because we know, look, I don't want to be sitting here on Friday having to watch a game 5.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't care if it's Zach Wheeler. I don't want to be watching game 5.
Yep.
I think if the Phillies can put it to them on Tuesday, find a way to win that game on Tuesday, the Mets are going to have a really hard time bouncing back. They're going to be tired, and it's going to be a lot. So that's where I'm at, buddy. Anything else you need to add?
Yeah. People talk about Philadelphia fans. LA is throwing stuff at Fernando Tatis Jr. in right field. They're throwing beer cans at Fernando Tatis.
And this doesn't matter. So I just want to ask the question for clarification. Has he done anything positive tonight?
He homered in the first inning. It is now the bottom of the bottom of the 7th. And there are beer cans on the field because they were being thrown at Fernando Tatis. And Philadelphia fans still get talked about. Like, even in Passan's article, who's great. We love Jeff Passan. He wrote a great article about Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
Talked about the Phillies fans, how like Santa booing, battery throwing, all this BS.
Mm-hmm.
Who have been the last teams to do this? The Braves and now the Dodgers. Not the Phillies. Not the Phillies fans. So just an interesting piece of current breaking news.
Wow. I mean,
To the point where they pulled every outfielder into the infield while they figure it out.
jeez.
So,
Brutal.
passing, somebody, Aiden Gonzalez, I guess, who's an ESPN reporter. Now a bunch of fans have thrown objects in Fernando Tatis Jr.'s direction in right field. There are close to 20 security guards standing along the foul lines, and play is still delayed. I've never seen anything like this. Passan retweeted, quote tweeted, "This is not okay. Stop being stupid, baseball fans."
Yeah. Well,
Again, not Philadelphia.
no, it's not.
Just an interesting tidbit.
Sure is. Sure is. Also, something from that game. Phillies might not be the only team with home field advantage to be tied 1-1 going on the road.
That's right.
It happens, folks. Phillies did it to the Braves 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Now the difference being the Braves couldn't win one game in Philly
Right.
to get it back to Atlanta.
Right.
Can the Phillies get at least one in New York?
Yeah.
We shall see.
If we win these series, I'm buying a Grimace doll and an OMG sign, and I'm having a ritual burning in my fire pit out back.
Oh my gosh. Actually, I might need to be there for that. I might need to be there for that.
I'm gonna set them on fire, and I'm gonna drink bourbon next to their burning corpse.
I'm gonna need to be there with you.
And I'm gonna videotape it, and we're gonna put it on the
But
Twitter.
we got work to do
That's
before
right.
that, buddy.
We gotta get there, but
Game on Tuesday. We will be on. We'll talking about it, breaking it down, going inning by inning, frame by frame, and hopefully we're talking about a Phillies win up 2-1. Would be really, really nice. It helps you to forget that. If it helps you to forget yesterday, if they can win on Tuesday.
win tomorrow, Tuesday, I think makes a bigger difference in the series than this win today.
Okay.
If you go in to Citi Field and take the first game, like you've opened up the chest of the dragon and you see the heart.
Yep.
And then you just got to go stab that bastard.
Grab it on Wednesday night.
That's right.
Well, let's hope they can tear that chest open. That place is going to be rocking on Tuesday. So the Phillies are coming in. They're going to have to find a way to get the crowd out of it early.
Yep.
That's one thing the Mets didn't really do either day. Like they didn't get the crowd out of it early. The crowd was in it for the most part. I keep seeing tweets that people are disappointed in the crowds. And we talked about it yesterday. F off.
Yeah. I mean, like your crowd would be so much better if your team hasn't hit in 3 days.
No, but it's like Philly people, like Pat Egan.
Oh,
Philly guy.
Yeah.
He's a nerd anyway. But anyhow. All right. Well, listen. We'll be back on Tuesday night, hopefully with a W. Reg says it'd be bigger than the one tonight. Build off of it. Try and get win number 2. Try and get going in the right direction here. And hopefully the Phils take something from this series and are able to, or from this game and are able to move it over to Citi Field with them. There's a lot of momentum in this sport. The Phillies just took a lot of it back with this win. This was a huge momentum win. Huge swing in this series. And now it's up to Aaron Nola and the offense to keep it going on Tuesday. We'll talk to you then. Follow us on all the things. Find us on all the things. We'll see you then. Knowles, baby, go get him.
Keep it going. Just for us, please.
Oh my God, deep to right field, way up there and way out of here.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.